What's up, guys? Welcome to a new video. So today I'm finally going to take the KLX out for a little ride and tell you guys about all the mods that I've done. If you're wondering why I look like Michael Jackson right now, it's because my other glove is actually covering my license plate. So let's start with the most requested mod on this bike, and that would probably have to be the gear indicator that I installed. It is a Heel-Tech gear indicator. So start it up. You'll see, basically, I'm not going to start the bike, but what you just saw, it goes 1 through 6. Obviously, it's a 6-speed bike. This wires in, it literally is like a plug and play. It's very simple. It's like just under $200. It's probably the best mod for me anyway. I ride sport bikes, a GSX-R 750, and I'm so used to having a gear indicator, especially while on the track, that when I took this bike to a go-kart track, and that was the one thing that I really felt like it was missing, was the gear indicator, because I like to know which gear I'm in when I'm going into corners, and when I'm going like from, say, 5th gear down to like 2nd gear. I want to make sure I'm actually in 2nd gear and not in 3rd gear going into a corner. So I did away with the stock mirrors. I just have this little 2-inch CRG bar end mirror on here. I have rotted levers, which perform just like stock. They're just a little bit shorter. These are Bark Busters, and they are trackside. I believe I got them from Revzilla. So these are trackside Bark Busters. I have the plastic piece, I just don't have them on. This is basically to save it when I'm at the go-kart track and I happen to drop the bike, which I have. You can see right here there's a little bit of scuffage. I just retouched it up with some paint, but I also have the Light Tech shorty, like little blinkers for the front. I haven't done anything with the headlight aside from I changed it to an LED bulb. Let's see, crash protection, I went with T-Rex Racing frame sliders, and also I did the axle sliders from T-Rex Racing. All of this stuff is listed for a KLX250, but it bolts up exactly the same on the 350. Everything is literally identical. I did the 9-inch Delcovic slip-on exhaust, carbon fiber. I've already done a video on that with the sound and everything. This is probably another really good mod. It's definitely one of the best mods that I've done to the bike. Is I went to the Continental Conti Attack SM Evo tires, which hook up and grip phenomenally at the track. The low side was actually, it was my fault. I basically just got like a little bit too overzealous on the first lap, and I just slid out at like maybe, I don't know, 5 miles an hour. Just a little low side, picked the bike back up, went right back out. But yeah, those are the Conti Attacks Supermoto Evo. They probably need about maybe 2 laps on like a Bushnell track to really warm up, and I just went like full send on the first lap like an idiot. But it happens. I went to I believe this is let's see, I know it says it on there somewhere. Okay, so this is a 39 rear sprocket, and it feels really good. The bike wheelie is so much easier. It's just, I'm sorry, I believe it came with a 37. It was either a 37 or a 41. I totally forget. I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm trying to do this on the fly, and I don't have a whole lot of time. So this video has like been highly requested, mostly because of the gear indicator. So I've been meaning to do it. I just haven't had a chance to really get out and you know, just kind of meander and talk. So like I said, this is the 2022 KLX300sm. I thought about going tubeless. I don't believe I'm going to do it now, because like taking to the kart track with the tube tires, I actually felt just fine. So I really have no complaints there. The suspension's been set up for me specifically. The bodywork, that's another thing that a lot of people have asked me about. The bodywork is actually just painted with plasti dip. You can literally plasti dip this bike, or any bike, any color you want. I went with the high-vis yellow because pretty much every bike that I've had in the past 5-6 years has been high-vis yellow, and it just fits really well. So the bike looks great in my opinion. I really love the bike. I feel like the more I ride the bike, the more I fall in love with the bike. But yeah, there's a few things that could be better on this bike, but all in all, I don't really have any complaints, and the price point is really solid. I don't know how long I'll end up keeping the bike, but right now I'm just having fun with it, and we'll see how that goes. So let's go get some gas and get a little ride in. So yeah, like I said, I've had this bike for about I guess 6 months or so, and let me close that vent, maybe it'll help out a little bit. It's pretty windy today. But I've had this bike, I don't know, I guess about 6 months, and one of the first things I wanted to change on it was the gear indicator, which I know like the CRF250 and the CRF300, I believe, both come with gear indicators, which in my opinion is something that like could easily have been added on. It's probably my biggest complaint on the bike personally, and I know I'm kind of being nitpicky here, but I feel like, you know, even like the Z125 has a gear indicator that comes stock on the bike, and there's plenty of room on the display. I mean, the odometer reading is like big enough to fit like 1 million miles on it. They could have just moved that over and put a gear indicator right there. Even if it were little, it'd give people a reference to go off of. And my biggest thing is like track riding and doing wheelies. I like to know which gear I'm in when I actually do that. More so track riding, just because like going into a corner too hot in a a higher gear than what you think you're into, and like not having that engine braking can like really lead to a bad day. But all in all, the bike's been great. The bike's been, I mean, it's performed flawlessly. It's at like 700 or so miles now. I just haven't really been riding a whole lot. We've been doing more track riding on the 750s, and just like more so focused on that at the time. But now that the gas is like ridiculous right now, it's like just getting over $4 a gallon here in Florida. I know some parts of Florida and other parts of the states, you know, like Cali is obviously way worse, but you know, $4 a gallon for Florida is kind of ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous when last summer it was just like 220, 230. Well, I'm sorry, the summer before last. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's like, it seems like it's going up like non-stop right now. So I'll probably be riding this to work a little bit more often as time goes on. It's just it's a fun bike. It's just, I feel like this bike is so much like, it's such a hooligan bike. It's very hard to like stay tame on it. And the same thing kind of goes for the Z125, but at the same time with the Z125, I didn't feel as inclined to be an absolute hooligan. Not that you can't do that on any bike, but it's just, I don't know, this bike is just, it kind of like opens the door to be a little bit more hooligan-y. And the bike, like, it honestly like tips in and everything really good for being, you know, it's a supermoto obviously, but I'm so used to sport bikes which are literally like designed for that type of riding. But the bike tips in, it feels great, it shifts super smooth. You know, that was one of my complaints about the Z125, is that they don't shift rough, but you find a lot of false neutrals on any small bike. Like the Groms are the same way. The Z125s, the Benellis, they all have issues with like misshifting and things like that, and like false neutrals. But all in all, I can't really complain. This bike's been a pretty awesome little machine, but like I said, it's just things like that. Like it's hard to tame yourself on a bike that like just wants to wheelie like effortlessly. Really, it honestly feels like you're just riding like a BMX bike. You know, like when you were a kid and you would just terrorize the neighborhoods on your BMX bike. That's kind of what it feels like on a bike like this. But it's getting like, you know, 65, 70 miles per gallon. So I really can't complain there, especially right now when gas is absurd. So I wanted to do like an update, just kind of like a walk around little you know, mod video, show you guys, tell you what I think about the bike, what I like and what I dislike. I'm going to do a video on that because there's 3 things on this bike I would really like to change, but you know, from stock form, things I've already done, but those are my biggest 3 complaints, and you'll hear that in a video coming out soon. A lot of people have been messaging me asking me if I would go with the CRF300 or the KLX300, and I really feel like it depends on what you're gonna do with the bike, and I'll try to cover that in the next video, like which way I would go depending on what type of person you are. So I'm gonna try to catch this. Okay, I'm gonna catch this green light. Okay, it's definitely yellow, but yeah, it's okay. It was not red when I went through it, so don't shame me. Alright guys, peace, ride safe, and we'll see you in the next video.